great news for the ENERGICA case mounts that I made. So this is the result. I'll show you some footage where I'm on the road test riding, because I've done the test ride already. Right now I've been on the highway with this. It didn't move a bit, so it's really secure. And I had my I use one case. Well, my shoes are still in there, but I use one for the computer, my clothing, and my shoes, like you can see. And then this is how they are mounted on the inside. There is this printed part on top that hooks onto these bolts, and also protects whatever you put in there, so that these bolts are not scratching up everything. I made 4 holes, there, 2 at the bottom. It's all watertight. I have some footage from my test rides and I will show you, where you can see that case with the ENERGICA's official side cases in fabric, hydroformed or whatever it's called, on the other side, so you can make a clear comparison between the two. What I did is I just made these brackets. I'll show you some footage from that as well. I made a few versions, a few iterations, but like this is the case rack you get from ENERGICA. So that's all default. Well, it's an option, but it's all stock. And well, the ENERGICA cases clamp on here with the lockable thing, and then at the bottom they hook over these studs. These studs you can simply remove, and that's what I did. So I removed those, added the spacer here because you have this difference. So I added the spacer here, that's what you can see there at the bottom, and then 2 longer bolts that are 70 mil long through the bottom section of the case. And then at the top, in this version, I've uploaded the STL files for these things to print as well if you want to. It's PETG, because that's stronger than PLA. PLA is a lot easier to print, but that's more brittle and that's not as strong, and also not UV light. It doesn't do well in UV light. And PETG, yeah, I'll put the acronyms in text so that you know what I'm talking about, because I don't. Anyway, this is working. This version has only 2 bolts at the bottom. I have been thinking of also putting one on top here, because then you're clamping around this bracket, because that thing is a shape that really just fits around here and that you can bolt onto your case, or whatever case you use. This, yeah, the case itself, it's an that's the brand Inox. The reason that I had only one mounted in my test videos is because the other one, I've ordered one, tested, and everything was fine. But when I wanted to order the other side, another one for the other side, they are of course identical. Only the holes that you need to drill are mirrored, because there is an offset between the top ones and the bottom ones. At least in my config, you could of course make a different bracket or move that top bracket that they are mirrored as well if you want to. But I think, can you see? Yeah, it's like this. So I've created 2 holes here and then at the bottom 2 there. But if you drill there and there, for instance, you make it something that you can swap around. Also, yeah, of course they are not, well, they are easily removable by just removing those 4 bolts, but it's not locked in place, and it's not an easy snap-on thing like the original ones have. I've also looked into the backing. So if you look into the original ones, they have a backing plate behind the fabric, which is ABS plastic, what it looks, well, similar to this plastic, and then the locking mechanism and the tabs at the bottom. But I was thinking of transferring that plate to the back of this case and make it interchangeable and lockable that way. But the problem I had with that setup is that the tabs at the bottom, for instance, are held in place on that plastic backing thing with just simple, it looked like wood screws. Like I think there are 3 wood screws per tab that go into plastic. And at the top as well there are 4 screws or so, so it didn't look very secure at all, because in those cases you can carry a bit more weight, and I wanted something more secure than the thing that ENERGICA had in place for their soft tags. Yeah, but it's been tested on the highway, full speed, with MacBook loading and shoes, and even with champagne glasses inside, so it's all working pretty well. There is some flex to it. My bike is moving as well now when I move this, but there is some flex, but the flex is all coming from this this material of the casing, so that's the part that's flexing. But sometimes a little flex is better than cracking, of course, so I'm very confident that it's working well. It's like it's similar to the pellet cases, like it has this vent even. Well, I created 4 more vents, but it's similar to those pellet cases in many ways, the black ABS plastic, but also there is a rubber seal in here. So it's completely, well, except for the 4 holes that I drilled, it's completely watertight. Like you can see, I've also tested the case in rain, and it didn't make any water. I didn't do anything for waterproofing those holes. I can put some sealant around those holes or so, but it seems like it's not making any water there. So for now, it's like a perfect, well, at least for me, it's a perfect solution. You can still grab onto the passenger grab bars here, and there is still room for a passenger foot here, and there is lots of spacing here for the hardware of the blinkers. Just to give an idea of the size of that, it's there's literally, if you put a 16-inch MacBook inside, you have 1 finger spacing on top and at the side, so it's almost identical to, it just fits a MacBook 16-inch in a sleeve. That is what it just fits. Okay, now I realized I never recorded an ending for this video, so this is the printer doing its thing. Here I'm printing the new version with the 3 bolts, and it, like you can see, it takes, I think it was estimated at 7 hours or so, but this is the final version, so the really fine print. And then I also have some footage from the Moto Wolf bar back and bar riser, so they put the bars a bit higher and a bit more backwards. But I didn't really like the feel of these. I kind of lost feeling of the front a bit. And this is my dog, 15 years old, you wouldn't say.